Welcome to MBC News, which is not owned by News International. I have my own team of intrepid explorers into the nether region of the digital under rock. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, dear.
We need hardly dwell on the closure of the News of the World tabloid amidst charges of phone hacking which daily spreads like a broken jar of ghee under the glare of sudden ferocious and hot investigation. Rupert Murdoch arrived in the UK this week to do, well, we can only imagine. Violence continues as the Arab Spring attempts green shoots in Syria. The Portuguese and Greek economies continue to follow the pattern of many personal bank accounts today in the unthinkable plunge of the overdraft. Our Google Plus is going great guns with a generally positive reaction, although the report of corporations being thrown off it and the odd avatar are rife, as Google's new venture into the world of social media has certainly caught the attention of investors who added $20 billion to their market cap the first week after the launch of the service on June the 28th. But Second Life users may find themselves not welcome, with at least one person already reporting that they've got the boots. Resident Open Source Obscure has received the following rejection letter from Google. After reviewing your profile, we determined that the name you provided violates our community standards, unquote. But not to worry. Apparently Google is also giving the old heave-ho to businesses in an attempt to keep this first rollout for individuals and not corporations. So what do you think of this, guys? This lovely, meadowy, jolly interface. And now everybody's being chucked off. Well, two people that we know about.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts, I think. I mean, we had this with Facebook, of course, and it was pointed out to me yesterday when I was, since I've been talking about this for days, that, you know, it is in Google's, the original Google, TOS, that, you know, they are there for private individuals and, you know, not for brands and things like that. And I gather that they are planning to extend Google Plus. Maybe they'll call it Google Plus Plus or something, with a separate service that is actually for brands. So it's possible you can say they're assuming that an avatar, although a proper identity, is actually a brand rather than an individual name. But I'm always saying that, you know, I mean, the classic example is authors. I mean, every second book you buy in the bookshop, the author's name is almost certainly a pen name. It's something that has a nicer ring to it than their real name, or something that is a sort of name that goes with the type of thing they write. I mean, there is nothing new in this at all, and, you know, I can't imagine Google sort of
oh, darling, let me tell you, you're talking about corporates treading into the world of the artist. Those two things have never mixed.
Yes, well, quite. I mean, Open Source Obscure is clearly not a real name, but he's pretty well known under that identity as just as much as, say, J.K. Rowling is. I mean, I'd love to see Google try and kick her out.
What do you think, Siggy?
Well, we have to bear in mind that this is still the first rollout. Not everybody can get in. There's been a lot of talk from people feeling somewhat miffed because they couldn't get an invite. The number of folks who were originally signed up, typically with the blogger types, some of the media types, the techie types, or your ordinary people weren't actually getting in. And this may also be an attempt by Google just to see what control they can have, and they clearly are trying to exercise some sort of control about who goes in. But my guess would be that, a bit like Facebook or any other social network, once the thing gets up and running, and once you have millions upon millions of people, policing it becomes almost irrelevant. and that if people sign on, they will sign on, and provided you don't have some vaguely bizarre name, and you have something that sounds like Sigmund Leominster, nobody's going to question it. So I think it'll all come out in the wash, as they say, at some stage. This is just some teething things here that are going on. The real thing to me is I'm curious as to how many more social networks can we have. I'm already social networked out, and by the time, as I say, by the time that you have now Facebooked, Googled, Plurked, LinkedIn, Twittered, tweet, I mean, by the time you've done that, you haven't got any time to do anything else. So that's more of an interest to me. How many more social networks can we get?
In what's being called Monocle Gate, yay! Been trying to say that for days. The management of EVE Online have been under some pressure last week to respond to a leaked document about the selling of virtual goods in the popular game set in space. A leaked document by one of the EVE's design groups made reference to having more what they called vanity items available for people prepared to pay for them. One such item was a monocle that would cost $61. The response by players of EVE was the concern that buying items could bias gameplay and would be a bad idea. Currently, EVE management is saying that vanity items can be sold, but there is no intent to provide the opportunity to buy shortcuts. Interesting that monocles are seen as vanity. And hackers have been very busy over the last few weeks, which nobody can have failed to see, with Anonymous and Lulz leading the fray. Lulz have announced that after what they called a 50-day cruise, they've disbanded. PayPal Twitter account was hacked with recommendations for PayPalSucks.com, and President Obama was famously targeted. However, let's not forget that the biggest news of hacking has been with the newsmakers themselves. And here is Sigmund with the business news.
Well, thank you, Dusa. And although the sport of predicting the demise of Second Life continues, venture capitalists are still prepared to invest money in virtual worlds. Roblox, a kids' virtual world that reports having 5.7 million monthly unique visitors, raised $4 million from two investors. That's Altos Ventures and First Round Capital. Roblox is a competitor to the successful Lego universe, which recently switched from being a subscription-only game to a free-to-play system like Second Life, with the option to sign up for premium services. And an interesting observation by the veteran Second Life blogger Tetero Nero suggests that Linden Lab may be thinking about a name change for Second Life. Now, rebranding, as this is called, is something businesses do only if they feel there's a significant reason to do so. And the usual significant reason is to increase income. The position of Director of Global Communications is currently available at Linden Lab, and the job description includes the intriguing, nay tantalizing phrase, quote, plan and execute a broad PR strategy for communicating Linden Lab's industry leadership and rebranding efforts, unquote. Now, doubtless there will be speculation about what the new name Second Life could have, and we will keep you posted. And finally, the commerce and marketing track of the Second Life Community Convention is looking for business presentations from Second Life content and service providers. The conference is scheduled to take place from August the 12th through the 14th in Oakland, California. Proposals are solicited from both for-profit and non-profit businesses. In fact, anyone who's involved with Second Life as a business as opposed to recreation. The theme is the creative economy in Second Life, and you can go to the conference website at www.slconvention.org to download a submission form.
Now, Malburn's writer with TechSpot.
Well, thank you, Dusa. Well, first off, a team of scientists from the University of Tokyo are reported in Nature Geoscience to have found a massive deposit of, quote, rare earth under the ocean near Hawaii. At a depth of between 3,500 and 6,000 meters, this rare earth will prove difficult and lengthy to mine. Rare earth is actually used in the production, amongst other things, electronics, and the team's leader, Professor Yasuhiro Kato, is quoted as saying, "We estimate that an area of just 1 square kilometre surrounding one of the sampling sites could provide 1/5 of the annual current world consumption of these elements." Well, the sampling is already showing a predominance of heavy rare earth deposits and will heighten competition between countries and large electronic and industrial focus. Meanwhile, Second Life Fashion Week, London Fashion Week here in the UK took place both virtually and in the real world, just before the furore of SLAB and MBC played amongst the lag. So over to a few more links. Linden Labs have apparently, this is technically unannounced, but Tiranino again reports that a new Second Life parcel privacy option is in development. Now, we don't know much about this yet, and there's no sign of when or even exactly if this will be released. But the idea seems to be that you'll be able to make your avatar invisible on your own sim. So if you want to go for a bit of rumpy-pumpy, the neighbours won't be able to see you, even if they've got their spy cams on.
Will they be able to hear you?
Interesting question. Do you want to put it to the test with me? Oh, we haven't got it yet, have we?
I could make you scream, Mal. Yes.
Well, there is no reply to that. Does it work the other way around too? We will see when the time comes. Meanwhile, over on OpenSim, where, of course, things are a lot freer anyway, Intel's DSG is to become a core part of OpenSim. Now, DSG stands for Distributed Scene Graph, and it's a technology that allows things like OpenSim to handle thousands of avatars in a single region. It's already available for download. It's, I think I can best describe it as a kind of plug-in for the OpenSim code base, so that if you download it and put your own OpenSim online, you'll be able to use this plug-in to have thousands of avatars on your sim. But it's not quite as easy as that. It does introduce an element of having a lot of extra servers online, which kind of, in layman's terms, kind of mimic the real sim and allow you to have considerably larger amounts of avatars attend. But for broadcasting and holding real life, big real world style events in world, then this could be a real plus as it comes online. So I think with that, it's back to you, Lisa.
In the absence of Eddie Clarity, who's out on hilarity somewhere, I'm going to do public service announcements briefly. There are 2 new art shows have opened this week. The first one is a new gallery in Arab land with a strong international flavour. The show is the International Art Gathering and shows art from all over the corners of the world, representative of many different cultures and resulting in a strong and varied exhibition provoking a sense of curiosity. Now grab the beautiful, informative catalogue when you're there as a souvenir. The exhibition runs through July and August. And Studio 33 at Art Yard is showing Minola Menges until the 22nd of July with a thematic multimedia exhibition that pushes through into your eyeballs, really, through your brain with haunting, emphatic grace. If you are a collector of art in SL, this is a good week. And Mr. Virtual World, the finale of Mr. Virtual World is on the 16th. That's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. SLT. And they're down to their finalists now. There was a press showing yesterday, so I got to see some of them. And we had to choose our 5 favorites. And my favourite will not be dragged out of me screaming, quite frankly. So, yes, if you want to see that live, that'll be streaming out on metaversetv.com/live/ on a television near you or on the web. And Claim the Fame finale. They, for new designers, they have been going steadily over the past 15 weeks and they are down to 2 designers. So watch Claim the Fame finale on metaversetv.com/live/. I'm sorry, but people are pasting horrible things to me about hidden avatars. Anyway, Finally, Relay for Life in Second Life. And with the Relay weekend happening on the 16th and 17th of July with a 24-hour event following the events of the real life Relay for Life. That's it. This promises to be even more. So if you can't get down there, the live streaming will be shown on the web and on TVs all over Second Life. And it's a massive enterprise with loads of sims, and it's like playing Scrabble in Latin on a... Never mind. Okay, so we've come to the end of this week's MBC News. It just suffices for my intrepid explorers to say goodbye to you.
Goodbye, and we'll see you all next week.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And indeed, we will be back at the same time, same place next week. Goodbye.
Stay safe from MBC News.